One of the best ways to achieve correct color is, of course, to include something neutral in your photographs in the particular lighting situation where you're shooting. And that's what I did here with this photograph. Here I'm photographing Chris Lieto, who is a 3-time Ironman champion. And what I did was I included this little color checker chart so that I could white balance or color correct the different photographs that we captured in this context. And here I have a couple of the outtakes and sample photos. Well, what we want to do then is we're going to zoom in on this color checker chart. And I'm going to zoom in on this so that we can see this. And Chris just got off a bike ride. We went into the studio, and he's holding this little color checker chart that was put together by X-Rite. It's called the Passport. Phenomenal color checker chart. And so I'm going to select the white balance tool by pressing the W key. Now when I do that, I have a few options. I have auto dismiss, and what that means is that if I click, it will automatically deactivate or put the white balance tool back in its spot. I don't want to do that just yet, so I'm going to turn that option off. Show loop will show me the image in more detail as I hover over it. I'll leave that on. You can also change the scale here, and you can see as I hover over different things, I now have a little bit more detail, and I can see some detail as I hover over this. Well, what I want to click on is something that I think should be neutral. And I know by this card that all of these different swatches here should be neutral. As I hover over them, it's going to show me an update of what would happen if I did click on this area of the image. Now, if I look at my RGB values, which are located under this little loop, you'll notice that the red and green are pretty close, but then the blue is high, showing me that I have a blue shift. And so if I click now, which I'm going to go ahead and do, we'll now notice that these three values are much closer together. They're almost exactly the same. And what you want to do is you want to click on something other than pure white. So in this case, I now have nice neutral color. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see the photograph. And then what I'm going to do is press the backslash key to look at the before and after. So here's my before, and then there's my after. The image is looking much nicer. It's now neutral. From this point, if I want to make any subjective adjustments, I can do so. But first, the task at hand is to color correct these other photographs, right? So I'm going to click Done because I'm done with my white balance tool, and then look at the other photographs. Well, here we can see that these have a subtle or slight blue temperature color cast. So I want to correct those. Well, because this image is now correct, all that I need to do is to click on one image, hold down the Shift key, click on the other images, and then click on the Sync button. I'll choose Check None. I'm going to go to white balance. I simply want to synchronize the white balance across these three images. Click Synchronize, and then we'll see that all three of these files have now been updated, and all three of these files are now completely color correct.